were a closely knit family. We had our own little arguments, if you like to call it that, but we were, at the end of it all, we were very close to one another. There's no doubt about that. My dad had died when I was only a year. I don't even remember him. As I said, I was born in 1936. He died in 1937. He died a young man, 54. That left my mother with 5 of us to rear: Maura, Liam, Tom, Harry and Christy. Well, I have really fantastic memories. I mean, certainly, well, as a young boy, I suppose, trying to self-praise is no praise, but I suppose I could, I think, honestly say I fitted in well. I was small and fragile anyway, if you like to put it that. I was smaller than most of my friends. We'd say, when I was 15, 16 years of age, I was still only about 5'1" or 2, so which was some of them were 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", you know. I was small for my age, but like, that's neither here nor there. But mother or other people used to say, there's good goods in small persons and so on, you know. I was very fond of handball, as distinct from football, because I was small and a bit light, so even though I played football, it was a little bit too kind of rough for me, or when I say rough, I wasn't able to take the old. So I settled for handball, which was doubles kind of. I loved the billiards and the snooker. Billiards was really my game, and like I might go as far as saying that I was very successful at it. I won 4 titles in a row in the club now, among all the local members. I won 4 in a row, so like, that was a feather in my cap. But that was back in the 60s. I just kind of seemed to fit in well, because I wasn't the leader of men. Like, I wasn't one that wanted to be, I wanted to be part rather than at the helm. So like, in that sense, I suppose I could say that my childhood worked out well. There was a dance hall here in an old dance hall, St. Patrick's Hall. So we were beginning to graduate to the bigger dance hall from the pavilion, the hop in the pavilion. We kind of graduated when we were probably, I suppose, about 15 or 16. We'd ask, could we be let go? Like, all I remember, like, for a very big night, it was a special night. It was kind of the farmers' dance, and there was a famous band, Mick Delahunty had an orchestra. I'd been a bit older, just into the mid-60s. You had the famous Royal Show Band, and you had the Clipper Carlton, and you had the Capitol, and you had the Miami, and you had so many more. But I went to all those for the music and the crack and everything else, you know, so many happy memories. I had a few, like, sort of, what you might call ships in the night. Just a one night stand. Like, I did 1 or 2, what you might call, short-lived lines, and I was hail fellow well met, like, kind of thing, you know, like I had London experience. So anyway, then I got married in 1971. I met my good wife, lovely wife, my best friend forever. I met her in 1969. I met her in the shop. She was a solicitor's office, and ironically, it so happened she worked with Harry, my brother. And Teresa used to come down on a bit of relief as his clerk, and she used to come in and out for a few sweets, and she used to smoke a few silk-cut cigarettes. So we struck up kind of a friendship and a long chat, and obviously we got to like one another very much. And then I met her at a dance and asked her to dance, and she was glad to dance, and that party really sealed it. And that was about 1969, early 70, late 69. We got engaged in 1970, and we got married in 1971. Oh, my wife Teresa, well, needless to say, I loved her. That's why I married her. I took to her, I fell for her in a big way. She was quite attractive, very, very dark and sallow, almost Spanish-like, really, you know. She also had a very good sense of humour, and I think I took to that as well. She wasn't a serious-minded person. She enjoyed a good laugh, like, and had a good hearty laugh herself, like. That would lift anybody, you know. and it lifted me many a time as well, you know. But I suppose you could say it was her personality, her humour and her good looks all combined that actually I fell for in a big way. I was so proud that I got such a lovely woman, such a lovely girl. That was, I really felt 10 foot tall, even though I was only 5.5. Even I'm only 5.5. She got sick, serious ailment, and she passed away a few years later in 1977. Both of us were very fond of films, so we always went at least once a week. At least once a week, and when and a dance, but like once we got married, like the dances kind of took second place, so to speak, you know. When Martin arrived, the first baby, oh, it was unbelievable. You know, really, like, it's really hard to put it into words. It's really like, in my opinion, indescribable. It's like as if your life has changed almost. When the nurse came out and she said, "Mr. Wynne," she said, "you're the father of a baby boy." The feeling of it, all of a sudden you felt a different person. You felt all of a sudden, I'm a dad. I never thought it would happen. I was like the emperor of China, so I couldn't be happier. So like that would be one of the happiest days of our lives, you know, for that event. And then equally so with Deirdre a few years later. Thank God, even though the mother had died. Those are, again, very happy memories. And they're all dead. John is dead, and Paddy is dead, and Joe is dead, and Anthony. No, Anthony is still alive, but there's so many. That often comes into my mind when I see the one that's left. That was in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th class with me, and the boys, well, not 7th, we left after 6th. 2nd, or from our Holy Communion up. There's only one left in Boyle, alive, my age, 84 going 85. And there's one other lad, he's living, he never married, and he's living with a married sister up outside Elphin somewhere. I think it's outside Elphin. He's alive, because I often make inquiries about him to find out, is he still alive? Pascal, as I say, and myself really soldiered a good bit, and then he got married in 1966. Of course, I was at his wedding, and then I got married in 71. But we retained our friendship, like, and I called into him regularly, and we used to go to films and all that with our wives, kind of together. We made up a kind of a foursome, and that was the game. And then, like, tragedy struck. As you know, I both Teresa, my own wife, then got sick, seriously ill in 75 and 76, and she died in 1977. Pascal and myself, I could write a book on our outings. So there you are. Happy memories. I'm lucky to have had such a happy family. You know, members of my own family, a sister and 3 brothers, and that we all pulled so well. And then you know, making your friends then outside your family. It's very important, I think, to form a good, what you might call, loyal friendship. You know, ones that excuse me, that you can confide in. You know, if you have little worries of your own that maybe you don't immediately want to tell your mother or your family. Everybody, I think, if they haven't, they should have a special friend. And then, having said all that, like, sort of, just try and do everything like that you honestly would think a person do as the others would do to you. And I'm not kind of trying to preach religion, but, like, you know, I think live and let live, and sort of, and it makes life so much happier. Now, I'm going to sing a little song for you. It's a well-known one, The West Awake. So here goes. When all beside a vision keep, the West asleep, the West asleep. Alas, and well may Erin weep, when Connacht lies in slumber deep. Their lake and plain shines fair and free, mid rocks their guardian chivalry. Sing, oh, let man learn liberty from crashing winds and lashing sea. And oft when in O'Connor's van to triumph dashed each Connacht clan, and swift as deer the Normans ran through Currew's Pass and Ardrahan, and later times saw deeds as brave, and glory guards Clanrickar's grave. Sing, oh, they died their land to save, at Aughrim slopes and Shannon's wave.